So we're on chapter 10, section 9, and we're talking about compound interest. When interest is compounded, the interest is computed on the balance plus the interest earned of the previous period. So for instance, if 500 is deposited on an account that compounds the interest quarterly at 4%, the interest would be compounded for the first interest period, and then the interest for the second quarter would be computed on the balance of that. So basically knowing a compound, that each time it's going to be the interest is going to be on more because you're going to be able to add the interest to the previous amount. And so as you go with compound, you'll get more interest than you would with simple interest, right? Okay, because it's compounded. So let's look compound interest. Let's see. There, for compound interest here, we have we have $500 in the account, compounded period annually. You'll after 1 year be $520. After 10 years, you'll make $740.12. Semi-annual, you'll make an extra 10 cents here, but in the long run, you're going to make $742. So you can see how 1 year doesn't make so much difference, but after 10 years of compounding, if you have that money in a longer time, it can make a lot of interest. Quarterly, 30 cents, 37. Daily, this is how much you make compounding just 1 year. But after 10 years, and $500 will make quite a bit of money. So let's go on to your model problem, compound. We're going to get a formula in a bit on this. So formulas make things easier, but you have to remember what the letters stand for in an algebraic formula, right? Excuse me. A model problem. Find the interest earned on $1,000 for 1 year at 4.25% interest when the interest is compounded semi-annually. So doing this semi-annually, okay? So let's look. So first of all, you're going to use the interest PRT, right? And so you're going to fill in the $1,000, and you're going to fill in the 4.25%. It's going to be 0.0425, right? Changing that to decimal. And then it's compounded semi-annual, which will mean semi means 2 times a year in 6 months. 6 months is half a year, so half a year would be 0.5, because 0.5 would be the time period. It's only in semi-annually means half a year, right? And so we have that. And so then we add, we have the balance. This is our balance, $1,000. But now we added up the PRT, and how much did we make? We made $21.25 in interest. So we can add that. And now our balance is $1,021.25 is our new balance. So now when we compound the next 6 months, because it's semi-annually, we do it again. And so we take this number here, is $21.70, and basically the new balance is this, and we fill this in. Well, this number is $21.7 of interest. We add it, and this is what our balance is. So now we put interest equal P, that's our balance, our new balance, plus what? 4.25% interest right here for another 6 months, which would be 0.5. 1 year would be 1, and a half a year would be 0.5, right? We add this up and we get $21.70. So we made more money on the second because we had more in the bank, right? So now, how much interest did we earn? Well, the first 6 months we made $21.25, and the second 6 months we made $21.70. We add that up, and our interest that they're going to pay us for that year is $42.95. You see how it's compounded? Basically, as the new interest goes into our account, we have a larger account, so we're going to make more of that interest each time. So that's how compound interest works. But now they have a formula for compound interest. This is what we're talking about in the savings account. So let's go up here. Tells a little bit about it here. Okay, compound interest formula. So the compound interest formula can be used to find the amount of principal new balance at a given rate of interest, which is compounded for a given number of interest period. The compound interest formula is A equals P times 1 plus R in parentheses, and then we have an N as an exponent. Okay, let's look at that. Let me look it on my paper here that you can see it. I wrote it out so you can see it a little better. So here's the compound interest. So we have A, that's just the amount you have in your account. That's what you want to know. How much money do I have in my account? Well, got to use this formula. So principal would be the principal be how much, $500 or whatever, see chart, whatever, but the principal. And R would be the rate of interest. That's going to be the rate of interest there, percentage, right? And N is going to be the number of interest periods that you have. Now, if you had semi-annual, you have 2. If you have quarterly, you have 4. So, I mean, how many times, those interest periods, that's going to be their exponent. So, this is a little crazy, isn't it? But it works. It works. So, let's look at my model problem here. Probably help you a little bit. So, you're going to find the interest earned on $1,000 for 1 year at 4 1/4% interest. So you're going to find that interest. Let's not do that one. We already did that one earlier, so not that model problem. Let's go on to this one. We want to use the formula. That's if you didn't use the formula. So here we have, find the balance after 3 years if $500 is left on a deposit of 3.5% interest compounded annually. So and you can use a calculator on these. And it's good to use a scientific calculator because you have to do exponents, right? So let's look up here. There you go. Find the balance 3 years if $500 left at a deposit, okay, at 3.5% interest. So you plug it in. Account, that's what you're looking for. A, you're looking for how much is in your account. So P is going to be the principal. So that principal is $500 is left on deposit. Okay, $500. And then we have 1 plus R, which is going to be the percentage. 3.5% is 0.035, right? And then we're going to times this exponent. So you have to say this 3 times. 1 plus 0.035 equals 1.35, and you have to times this times itself 3 times. When you do it on your calculator, you'll get 1.1087. And so you times this by that $500 you have. $500 is left on deposit. $500 there. And then you'll get your new balance is going to be $554 and 35 cents. Let's put that there. So, and that's going to be your new balance. See how you do? You plug in the formula again. So, quarterly rate. This is another problem. Find the balance. Find the balance after 1 year if $2,000, make sure you put the dollar sign so you know you're talking about dollars, is left on deposit at 4% annual interest compounded quarterly. First of all, because they say compounded quarterly, you're going to have to change because you're talking about a quarterly interest. So that's going to be, this type will be on your test. And it's going to be confusing. It was probably one of the most confusing ones on mine because I forgot to do the compounded quarterly. So first of all, you're going to take this interest, which is 4% rate, 4%, and divide it by 4. So 0.04 divided by 4, you get 0.01. So this is going to be now our interest rate because we had to compound it quarterly. So now we have account in our balance in our account, times the principal. What principal is 2,000. So we put 2,000 in there. And then now 1 plus R, which we have 0.01. And we're going to exponent that 4 times. So times it times itself 4 times. Do it on your calculator. I tried to do it in my head, and I can do it, but anyway. So you have 2,000 times 1.01. Make sure you always do the exponent before, because an exponent, if you don't do it before, then you're going to really get a wrong answer. So first of all, always do an exponent. Remember your PIMBA or whatever, you know, this exponent. Always, you know, do parentheses and exponents. Exponent first. So now you have this, I times this times 4 on my calculator, but by exponent 4 means 1.01 times 1.01 times 1.0, and I got 1.0406. Now I can use my calculator. 2,000 times this, I'll get $2,081.20. It would be my new balance. See how I did that? Plug this in. Make sure the principal is this principal right there, that number, and the percent. If it's quarterly, you have to divide it by 4. If it's not, you're just going to put it in right here, there. So really, you're only filling in 2 things: the principal and the rate that you have here, 4%. Filling in 2 things, because and this here, oh, actually 3 things, because this is going to be how many times you're going to, you know, how many times, the 4 there is how many times that you're going to have a payment period, the periods. And so this is 4 because it's quarterly, means 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I put 4 there for quarterly. So since it's 4 times, you're going to get 4 payment times. So that's what that number means, quarterly. So I hope you got that. And you'll have some exercises. This was a little hard because I didn't have a scientific calculator. If you got a scientific calculator that's going to do your exponent, it's pretty easy on a calculator, that's for sure. So let's stop there.